Are you ready to kick WotC to the curb? Are you tired of all their bad behavior? Do you want to know which other tabletop role-playing games to sink your time and money into? This is GM Jim, and I started this YouTube channel so I could make Game Master advice videos and also post the actual play stuff I was making with my friends. And along the way, as often happens, I learned a thing or two about tabletop gaming in general. I was reading Blades in the Dark by John Harper for fun one day, and found that I really enjoyed a lot of those mechanics and the creative way the game employed the rules. But I wasn't sure if I could get my home group to take the leap of learning for a whole new system just to run a short campaign. And don't worry, I promise I'll get around to the point of this video soon enough. I watch a lot of TTRPG YouTube, and during my research on Blades, I found a video by Z Bashu called Play Other RPGs? No, well, maybe. He had a great take on it. He basically says that while he found Blades to have innovative mechanics, he realized that the awkwardness of running a new and complex system at his table wasn't quite worth the effort. He concludes that if you want to run a heist, it's usually just better to hack 5e a little to run the heist, rather than learn a whole new system, even if that system is perfect for running heists. And before you rush to the comments to say that he, and by extension me, are horribly wrong, hear me out. There's more to this story. I came to the conclusion that there are tons of people out there who only know 5e, and so they don't want to dive into other systems and start from scratch. Never mind the fact that most systems out there are not as complex as 5e. It's still a big ask to get everyone at your table on board. People are creatures of habit, and often the most expedient way to have fun is to simply play the system you already know and love. And I'm one of those people. Despite all of WotC's bad behavior as of late, I still love 5e. It's still the main system I want to run because I already know how to do it. But that doesn't mean it's the be-all, end-all of TTRPG systems. There are other systems out there that do certain things better and can be just as much fun. I know this. So I started thinking of how I could promote other tabletop games while still appealing to the 5e loving masses. Go ahead and call me a shill who's just in it for the clicks, but I want to make videos that people want to watch. Shouting into the void is a waste of my time. So I came up with this idea of stealing rules from other game systems and then dropping them into 5e to get a little bit of that juice from these other systems. I thought if I could tell you which rules to steal from Blades and how to incorporate them into 5e, it would benefit everyone. It would encourage DMs to buy the book and therefore show support for the creator. It would encourage 5e diehards to dip their toes into other waters. And maybe groups would experiment and realize they actually want to play in other systems. So I started making these videos about non-5e systems, which are basically just game reviews, but couched in this thematic focus on which rules to steal. And 100% of the time, someone will comment, why steal? Why not just play game X because it's already vastly superior to 5e? And I hear you. 5e is not the best game out there for every type of genre. Add to that the very real disdain and feelings of betrayal directed at Hasbro and WotC, and you got a point. I'm a big fan of 5e, but I too am angry at and feel betrayed by WotC, just like you. So now we're finally getting around to my point. Thank you for your patience. In the process of making these videos, I've learned quite a lot about other systems. And there are some major differences between the complex systems and the rules-light systems. And again, everything I'm about to say is just my opinion and experience. I'm not a game historian or a TTRPGologist. I think the two main differences between rules-light and rules-heavy systems are GM rulings and character advancement. Let's talk about GM rulings first. I love super simple games like the one-pagers Honey Heist or Jason Statham's Big Vacation. It's a pretty neat concept that you can have enough RPG content to fill an entire session and the rules only take up one page. Compare that to 5e, which has about 800 pages of rules spread across its 3 core books. Pathfinder is also thick with 2 Cs. The difference here is that complex systems have lots of rules to cover what happens in various scenarios. 5e tells you how far and how high you can jump. Honey Heist does not. It wouldn't fit on the one page. Rules-light systems expect the players, the GM, and the dice to fill in all those blank spots. How high can your bear jump? I don't know. Roll a d6 and we'll see. It's two very different approaches to gaming. One says, if you follow these rules, you are playing this game. The other says the rules are largely whatever you decide they are in the moment. Rules Light gives you more freedom and flexibility, but it lacks cohesion and consistency. And the other main pillar of difference is advancement. In many of the rules light old style games I've researched like Mork Borg and Shadow Dark, Advancing in the game largely means getting an additional point in one of your abilities. And powered by the Apocalypse games like Dungeon World or Monster of the Week, you can select a new move from an existing catalog of moves. One-pagers generally don't have any type of advancement at all. If you want to play a full campaign of Honey Heist with increasingly leveled powers, your GM is going to have to invent all that. In 5e and other thick games, advancement is kind of the point. Much of the system's complexity is built around the concept of gaining power. That's why there are literally thousands of magic items and spells of tiered levels in 5e. These are kind of an advancement, and it works. I don't know about you, but my favorite part of a 5e campaign is when I get to level up and kick the tires on those new features. My character being able to now do cool things they couldn't do before is a major reason to keep playing repeated sessions with the same character. I did an experiment with a home group once in that I ran a series of increasingly higher level one-shots where the group made new characters for each one-shot. And then I ran a series of increasingly higher level one-shots where the group kept the same characters and just advanced the level of the character each session. And while they thought trying out new characters and classes each week was fun, playing the same characters and leveling up was more satisfying. But your mileage may vary. Another thing to consider, call it the third pillar, is that simple games are often written for a specific setting or genre, while complex games can often be ported into multiple genres. With Rules Light, you often get the remakes of the base game into new genres like Morkborg and Cyborg, for example. And while 5e is supposed to be heroic fantasy, it does have some flexibility to emulate horror or sci-fi or pulp action based on how you flavor certain things. And I'm not here to tell you whether Rules Light or Rules Heavy is better. It's your own road and no one can tell you how to travel it. I'm not here to tell you whether you should play 5e or whether you should never give Wizards of the Coast any more of your money. I'm here to help you choose how to go about kicking WotC to the curb if you've decided it's time to branch out. And hopefully I've already done that by talking about GM rulings, advancement possibilities, and setting or genre. These are the main things to think about when considering how to spend your hard-earned cash and your even more hard-earned free time. Personally, I'm going to do both. I'm going to branch out and play in other systems, but I'm also going to play 5e. Because I feel like since the SRD was released into the Creative Commons in 2023, it no longer belongs just to WotC. In a way, it belongs to all of us now, and I do like that. So until next time, this is GM Jim, telling that you can play whatever game you want, however you want, and anyone who judges you for it is doing so because of their own insecurities. It has less to do with you than it does with them. So go have fun and f*** the naysayers. Take care.